So there's been a lot of discussion about various problems in railjack. We've seen countless posts that have made it to the front page of Reddit, for example. We've seen videos from certain YouTubers just talking about various problems. For the most part, a lot of these discussions and a lot of these issues that are raised up in these discussions, I tend to actually disagree massively with. To the point where when someone says that, oh, railjack is a bit boring, I actually find that to be wholly untrue. I don't know, maybe for some reason their experience does not line up even remotely with my experience of railjack, so I'm still relatively positive about the entire mode as a whole. But we do have some very real issues, and I'm going to be talking about one that I think is a real issue that's different to the three that I talked about previously. I'm going to be summoning something called an Exo Gokstad Officer and, of course, the Corrupted Heavy Gunner. The Exo Gokstad Officer, and by extension all Gokstad Officers, are effectively the heavy gunner version of an enemy unit in a cruise ship. So you may come across some units that look like heavy gunners, despite the fact that they're actually only just walking around with a goddamn carrack. So here we have our Exo Gokstad Officer at level 100, and we have our Corrupted Heavy Gunner. We'll first just shoot the Corrupted Heavy Gunner in the face with my Tigris Prime, because we all know that it takes 1, 2, 3 arrows to kill a Corrupted Heavy Gunner from my Tigris Prime. That's why my Tigris Prime is pretty goddamn strong. So with the exact same Tigris Prime against an ever so slightly injured and scratched Exo Gokstad Officer, let's have a look at how many arrows it's going to take. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've just made it past halfway, more or less. 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh boy, 15 arrows, and that actually ranges from somewhere between 15 and about 20. Like, I've had some tests where it took me 20 arrows to kill this goddamn thing. So how the bloody hell did this happen? Why does an Exo Gokstad Officer, or any officer in fact, take so many arrows to kill? We have to have a look at the base stats of an officer and compare them to the Corrupted Heavy Gunner. So the base stats of an Exo Gokstad Officer, and by extension also the Gaia Gokstad Officer and the Cosmo Gokstad Officer, are 1,000 armor and 2,000 flesh. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may not know this, but if you do, then you don't have to listen to what I'm about to say for the next 3 seconds. That is a goddamn lot. If we compare it to the Corrupted Heavy Gunner, who until about 3 weeks ago when Empyrean showed up, was in fact the strongest enemy unit around, I think, except for like bosses and stuff, they have 500 armor and 700 flesh. Which means just on pure base stats alone, the Exo Gokstad Officer has twice as much armor and almost 3 times as much health. Oh, that is really goddamn high, and Corrupted Heavy Gunner is already considered pretty goddamn tanky. It takes me 3 arrows to kill them. And that's before you actually take into account this idea from the Wikipedia, where Exo Gokstad Officers have a base level of 1, which means their scaling happens a lot earlier than a Corrupted Heavy Gunner, which means they actually get more bonus when they are at level 100 versus that of a level 100 Corrupted Heavy Gunner. If we have a look at the Wikipedia page for the Corrupted Heavy Gunner, that I always love because it has these really nice JavaScript things like the level scaler. For a level 100 Corrupted Heavy Gunner, we have just under 90,000 health, and we have 7,000 armor, just a little bit more than 7,000 armor. That brings her effective health at level 100 to just 2,278,000. That's pretty high, but you know what? 3 arrows will take her down. Okay, fine. Sure. For a level 100 Gokstad Officer, we have a whopping 300,000 health and 16,500 armor, which brings her effective health to 16,612,000, ladies and gentlemen. That is absurd for a level 100 unit. Not only is this probably really bad from a gameplay perspective, this doesn't really make much sense from even a lore perspective. Why would something from like the Grenier faction have more effective health and therefore be a lot stronger, and I mean way stronger, than something that resides in the Orokin Tower? Am I going crazy? Is there not like some sort of lore implication that suggests that anything in the Orokin Tower is a lot more stronger than anything that's outside of the void? Question mark? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think it just seems a little weird that your tower enemies are now hilariously weaker than some random chick on a cruise ship. And the problems don't just stop there. Now you may be wondering, well, you know, if you're Volban, for example, then you can just remove all of their armor. Just throw out the good old-fashioned Bastille, wait a couple of seconds, and you're done. They have no more armor, you can shoot them in the face, you can do a lot more damage with your Tigris Prime. That is correct. So if you look at Bastille for me, right now, the build that I'm using reduces armor by 13%. I believe that's because I only have an intensifier in there for power strength. Whatever. That means that I only need 7 seconds, more or less, to get rid of enemy armor. Let's do exactly that. We're going to throw out our Bastille. And in about 7 seconds, you can see the corrupted heavy gunner is going to lose all of their armor. There we go. But your Exo Gokstad Officer still has all of their armor. How? That's not how anything works. So if we one-shot our corrupted heavy gunner like that, and then we try to shoot our Exo Gokstad Officer, as you can see, Bastille did nothing. The headshots are still the same. We were doing 7,230 damage before, and we are doing 7,230 damage now. Which means apparently removing armor doesn't work either. And for pure curiosity's sake, let's see if this particular issue also translates to every other cruise ship member. So here we have a group of cruise ship members and a corrupted heavy gunner as our base. So let's drop the Bastille. Now let's just wait for our corrupted heavy gunner to lose all of her armor. There we go. Headshot. So the suppressor has lost their armor, this guy's lost their armor, the carver has lost their armor, butcher has lost their armor, the officer has not, the raider has. It's just the officer. It is specifically her who is a real problem. All the other units, they're still a lot more tankier than even their corrupted counterparts. For example, even just the Exo Butcher has more armor than a bloody corrupted Butcher, which is just hilarious to me. But it is the Gokstad Officer, whose armor is so powerful it cannot be stripped. So let's review. We have a heavy unit inside a cruise ship that seems to have way more health, way more armor, and a form of armor that apparently can't be stripped by abilities such as Bastille. I've tried using Fracturing Crush, that doesn't work. You can probably then guess that things like Sonic Fracture won't work, Seeking Shuriken probably won't work either, Abating Link is probably out of the question. Basically, we have a heavy unit who has so much armor that cannot be removed, so forevermore at level 100 they will have 16,600,000 and something thousand health. That's absurd. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I don't think we'll ever come across a level 100 Gokstad Officer at this particular point in time, so I guess that's alright. But we tend to come across level 80s in the Veil. So how much effective health does a Gokstad Officer have at level 80? Oh, let's just have a look. They have a whopping 7.5 million health at level 80. Ugh. Considering the fact that, again, the level 100 Corrupted Heavy Gunner only has 2 million effective health at level 100. At level 100. A level 100 Corrupted Heavy Gunner has less than half the effective health of a level 80 Gokstad Officer. Less than half. And if we were to compare things together, a level 80 Corrupted Heavy Gunner has not even 1 million effective health. I don't know. This seems absurd. So without doing a test before I started recording this video, maybe one way to deal with these level 100 Exo Gokstad Officers is to just completely bypass all of their armor and attack them with slash procs. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. Let's find out. So here we have Garuda, everyone's favorite slash proc queen. We're going to now use Seeking Talons, which with my build actually has a 100% forcing slash proc kind of thing. We're then going to charge up the Blood Ball all the way to, let's say, 400,000 damage. I guess that could work. But honestly, my experience of using Garuda and Empyrean seems to be weighing along the lines of you don't get enough time to actually charge up something like that. And just to compare against those corrupted heavy gunners, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to charge up the Blood Ball to around about 400,000 health. Roughly. Instantly kills the corrupted heavy gunners, but your Gokstad officers are still standing before they inevitably and eventually die. Luckily, they do end up dying, otherwise it'd be just way too absurd that even Garuda can't kill them. So that is, I guess, the power of a Gokstad officer. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Again, I think this is really problematic, that these enemies are so absurdly tanky that you have to do something that forces slash procs just to have even a chance of killing them. That, to me, seems like a real problem compared to most of the other random things that you're hearing. Otherwise, if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more WarFrame content, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye!